Now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Another beautiful day in Jacksonville. What about the big news? Once again, it kind of feels like Christmas, maybe Christmas Eve, with the Jaguars announcing today all of their wide open to you training camp dates at the brand new Miller Electric Center, which I have seen, and it is absolutely spectacular. It's about one of the few things in this world where words doesn't do it justice. You literally need to see it. Okay, and you're going to get that opportunity beginning Wednesday, July 26th. That is an open date. That'll be followed up by one on the 27th and 28th of July. As a matter of fact, Saturday, July 29th, will be open. Monday, July 31st, and then we ring in the new month of August on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It'll be available for you. Then again, that's Sunday the 6th, and then the following week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, training camp dates announced. You're going to have shade. You're going to have the opportunity to buy Jaguar hats and shirts and, the entire spiel, if you would. Certainly refreshments. It's not like the old days. It's not, and you're going to be covered. Incredible new seating. Again, I was lucky enough to see the new building brought to you by Miller Electric in the Miller Electric Center. It is going to be just incredible, and very much looking forward to seeing that facility in its completion, if you will. They still had a couple of things that they had to take care of visiting a couple of weeks ago. But it's going to be a blast, no doubt about that, and obviously the hype does continue as well for the Jaguars in 2023. All right, we got a lot to do. We do it late night here on Tuesday after the ladies of Helmets and Heels. My name is Rick Ballou with you tonight till 10. Tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Thursday, 6 to 8. Friday, 6 to 8. Then I'm off for the week, and that's it. When I return, it's on. And it begins with a trip to Charlotte for the Atlantic Coast Conference meetings. This year, it is now going to be 3 days, not 2, because in case you may have forgotten, the Coastal is gone. The Atlantic is gone. The divisions are gone. Instead, it's 14 teams in a conference, so they've added an extra day. We'll be out there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as I just told the ladies of Helmets and Heels. We'll get back in the wee hours on a Friday morning and then get right over there to Jaguars training camp. So it is going to be busy in late July into August, and we wouldn't have it any other way. I think around here the vibe is up, right? Certainly is for the Jags. Georgia, a chance to three-peat. Florida State, all the promise coming out of Tallahassee. All right, let's put a question mark by Florida. And as well, Miami is going to be a very intriguing year. But regardless of what team it is that you love, it is going to be a blast. And that is coming up before you know it. All right, we got a lot of golf to do tonight. The only thing we really got out of the Senate hearings and everything that did take place a little bit earlier today is an incredible amount of grandstanding, right? And it almost feels like the PGA Tour notched a victory on their belts by stating that this agreement did come with the firing of Greg Norman. Frankly, I think that's petty. I know Norman insulted. I know Norman aggravated. I know he incited. I know he did all those things. But you can't allow one man to completely turn things that were bad to begin with and got that much worse. And there's so much that I do want to say with this. I think I'm going to save a lot of that for tomorrow night's show for quite a few reasons. We will hit a couple of major points, and if you haven't heard, it's pretty unbelievable, some of the proposals that came out today, and including one in which Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy would receive ownership stake in LIV golf teams. I mean, I've always believed that golf was an individual sport. I know they do have teams with the LIV, and I know most of you have never watched it. You may not be aware of that. And of course, you have the Ryder Cup and you have the President's Cup, which even for a great golf audience, I think gets diminished a tremendous amount because of the calendar, right? And that ends up happening, as we do know, during the football season. But anyway, some comments on that. Jay Monahan so conveniently will return on Monday. I still cannot believe this man has a job. I don't want to question. I don't ever want to question someone if they tell you there is a personal issue or a medical issue. But the timing of this just really adds up. And what it says to me is this is the ultimate fraud. This is the ultimate coward who backed away during the opportunity and during the time that the PGA Tour needed Jay Monahan more than ever. And he wasn't there for the Dog and Pony show that took place a little bit earlier this afternoon, involved with the merger and everything else with the PGA Tour, LIV, etc. All right, my brother's in town tonight from Tampa, Florida, here on business. First things first, though, it is the incomparable JJ LaSelva. What's going on, young man?
Enjoying some wings brought to me by the Ballou brothers, and I appreciate that.
Right.
Thank you very much. Delicious.
Well, we're not going to mention the place, and it has nothing to do that they're not sponsors of our radio station. We're not going to mention the place because they play terrible country music. And that is the truth. That is the reason. How you doing? You've had a good day? You got a jacket on in there? You hot? What's up?
I was a little cold. Now that I had these wings, I'm warming up a little bit. I enjoyed all of the content today from the Peacock show that was the Senate hearings.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the inner workings, reading the emails. That poor lady from CNBC got thrown right under the bus. Her softball interview.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed the Saudi guy. I guess I'm just going to call him Yasir. He wants to be part of Augusta National so bad that he literally put it in the proposal.
It's the greatest thing ever. I mean, my brother Jeff and I were just talking about that. I mean, you're talking about $600 billion, and oh, yeah, can I have a membership?
That's how hard it is to
Augusta.
become a member.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have or flaunt or whatever. You have to be invited by them, and it's not an easy ticket.
My brother is here. His name is Jeff Ballou. He's done a lot of radio with me over the years, beginning in Tallahassee, but he's with his family now in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Rolled in today for a couple of business meetings. Young man, how are you?
Good. Glad to be here. Always great to catch up with the folks here in Jacksonville. Great day.
Good business day for you? Did you take care of what you needed to take care of? Because as a loving family, I'm interested in that.
Well, always. Business first.
Yeah.
First, pleasure later.
We mixed in a little bit of golf today.
We did.
That was fun.
Well, very nice. Avoided the weather and everything.
Yep. As soon as we got to 18, it started raining. So, the timing on all that was perfect. But you play a whole heck of a lot of golf. And what are you now, 2.5, 3?
Right around there.
Yeah. I mean, I see, good golfers don't want to talk about their handicap. You play with Peter Tom Willis, I know, 3 times a week. And I remember saying to PT during a radio interview, hey, PT, I'm told you have one of the best short games around. He's like, thanks, Rick. Because obviously guys want to win money on the golf course. You don't want to tell someone that you're that good.
No, absolutely. And it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It's about what you do the day after. So
Jeff, born and raised like I am, right outside of Boston. And, of course, he also graduated from Florida State and has been down here much like myself. So you hit, what, 50 in 3 weeks?
I do. Yep, it's a big number.
I'm going to be here covering Jaguars training camp, so, what the heck's going to go on for your 50th birthday? And what could I possibly send you since I'm not going to be there?
Well, I think you need to be there.
Well, it's not going to happen because we have Jaguars. I got to do my job here. Hopefully, you have a better 50th birthday than I had. You remember what I did on my 50th birthday?
Yeah, I was there with you.
That was 2 nights before my birthday.
Oh, okay.
What was that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was a Christopher Cross.
Yeah, I do
concert
remember that.
with
yes.
you, me, and my GF, which was weird because it was really intimate. And it was 3 of us, but it was still a good time. No, I spent my 50th birthday. My youngest could only make it. My oldest didn't feel well. And my GF was really banged up. And, she's a trooper. She would have been there. So I turned 50 by celebrating my birthday with my youngest daughter at the Olive Garden. Okay?
Soup, salad, and breadsticks.
Oh,
galore.
man, it was like the greatest thing of all time.
That is authentic Italian from
And
an Italian. Trust me.
She wasn't old enough to drive, so that meant that it was nothing but Diet Coke for me. So instead of Miller Lights, I was out all night or not all night, but for maybe 90 minutes or so there at the Olive Garden. All right, we're going to talk some wagering coming up in a little bit. Jeff has a little bit of a history when it comes to that. It's a very good history. It's been a major second income for him over the years. First things first, though, Jeff. 20 under last year at the British Open. We've gone 3 consecutive weeks now, beginning at the Travelers, and then we had, 23 under there. We had a playoff with 3 golfers at 24 under. Last week, the 62.
Yeah, Rocket Mortgage on Sunday.
And
62 with the double bogey on 18, nonetheless.
I mean, he had a chance at a 59.
Yeah.
All right, so they've done. All right, listen. They've shortened the greens. They've added more rough. They've narrowed the fairways. What is the PGA Tour and every other entity going to do to be able to change golf scores where they're not consistently in the high teens or at 20 under?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, this particular venue coming up here a week from Thursday, 7,200 yards, par 72. That's way too many birdie opportunities for the best players in the world. Mm-hmm. Way too many. There's just not. I mean, there might be a pop bunker they find themselves in where they got to get out sideways or something like that. But for the most part, they're going to have scoring clubs in their hands, and it's going to be another 20 under type tournament where it comes down to who putts best from inside 10 feet.
Right.
And that's really what happens. And yes, they're not going to change it. There's no way to change it. The guys are carrying. Rory McIlroy's hitting it 360 off the tee, carrying it 330, 340 out there on these hard, firm fairways. You're gonna get even more rollout.
Yeah, they're not gonna. The Tiger Proof is over. They keep on lengthening courses, and that doesn't matter. Okay, that has no bearing on them. Maybe in some, maybe on some holes, a different iron, depending on how far away they are. But there's talk of equipment changes, golf ball changes. Is that the direction? And if not, what else could they possibly do to try to make this more competitive for these players?
Well, it's going to be 8,000 yards. I think before it's going to be they're not going to take the ball away or do anything like that. It's just too hard to modify that. I mean, I know that's been the conversation, and we talked about that, today especially. But how do you have an amateur play a regular golf ball, and then when they get an opportunity to play on the PGA Tour, they got to use a different golf ball?
Yeah,
they would have no way of adjusting the distances and how they're hitting certain clubs. Then it's a guessing game. It's not a game of skill anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that that's fair in that capacity. But lengthening the course to having every par 4 be 500-plus yards is probably where it's going to be.
See, I can't relate, but you can and many can. Okay, you could drop a range ball, or you could put a Pro V1, Titleist Pro V1, and I honestly cannot tell the difference. I don't have the feel in my hands and my fingers to tell that. You can, and obviously the greatest players in the world can. So, yeah, I mean, how do you make you hit a TaylorMade, or you hit a Titleist, or you hit a whatever it may be, Callaway, because Well, first off, they're paying you money, but secondly, you like the way that golf ball comes off your club, whether you get more spin or you're able to cut it more or draw it more. I don't know how they can create just one golf ball that apparently pulls away, 15 to 20 yards off of your drive and maybe other shots, but make them equal. It's not like a baseball. You had one baseball.
Right.
You have different golf balls here. How are they going to be able to do that?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I mean, heck, you know about baseball. They had a different type of baseball that they were using that they thought it was juiced up. So, you did have those seasons with the home runs, but I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, they've already got the technology in these clubs that everything's measured from swing speed to ball speed, the type of spin rate that they have, and that's why they're carrying it so much further than ever before. I mean, the athletes are better too. Let's be honest. There's better athletes playing. They're well-conditioned now. It's not the country club lifestyle anymore that's playing golf. These guys are in shape. They're strong, physical, and they're hitting it hard, and they're getting rewarded. Now they all have to make putts, and it really comes down to that.
Really, the only thing I can think to compare it to that makes maybe a little bit of sense would be baseball. But baseball gambled. They lowered the mound. They brought every stadium that was built, they brought in the fences.
Right.
Okay? And then you had the whole conversation about the juice ball and the juice player. We see the NBA. You and I are huge hockey fans. Okay? For the most part, it stays around the same. But it almost feels like, to me, the greatest golfers in the world in the PGA Tour, they have outgrown, or if not outperformed, the greatest golf courses in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, if St. Andrews last year has given up 20 under over 4 days, that's not what they want. I mean, the U.S. Open this year had two 62s on Thursday and a 63 on Sunday.
No.
Those are Johnny Miller had his name mentioned every year at the U.S. Open over and over again because of his historic Sunday round.
Right.
That got shattered this year just alone. I mean, that takes away from the history of the game and the accomplishment that he made. It's now becoming like, okay, hey, join the club.
4 years ago, the Jaguars won a playoff game here against the Bills 10-3. A week later, they went to Pittsburgh and won a game against the Steelers 45-42. All right? People love big game. They love scoring. NBA, NHL, baseball. I go the other way. I mean, you and I grew up with a dad who coached baseball and loved baseball. I don't want a 2-1 baseball game. I don't want a 2-1 hockey game. Jeff, I want to see these guys next week, go out to Royal Liverpool, and I would love to have 3 under, 4 under, 5 under be a posted score that you got to go out and beat and try to get ahead of them on a Saturday to be part of that final group on Sunday. Again, I may be in the minority here, but I don't want to see 20 under winning the British Open.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I thought they did a good job at Oak Hill this year, at least for the PGA Championship. It was under 10. It was 9 was kept a score. They had the rough penalizing for these guys. They definitely narrowed the fairways. But they made a comment. I just think this course this weekend, I mean, there was some really good scores there years ago. And last time they played, there was 14, 16 under. I mean, it's a traditionally a lower scoring tournament over there in the Open. It is, they want to cheer for birdies over in the UK. They really do. That's just how they want to do it. They don't really want the guys to grind. They want to have a leisure afternoon and watch birdies. And that's what they're going to get.
Final thought. Can they add gimmicks? Can you, put bunkers in the middle of the fairway? Can you elevate more greens, vice versa, elevate more tee boxes? Are there ways to literally, because the length hasn't worked, can you doctor up a golf course in another way which will affect scoring negatively?
That's possible. More fairway bunkers.
Yeah.
Making it a force carry of 320, 330 consistently, making them hit in front of that bunker so they have longer irons into the greens, making it harder to hit it closer in proximity.
Yeah.
That would be that's a possibility. I mean the Masters gets, every year it seems to get lengthened.
It does. Yeah, there's no question.
And it's still a great tournament to watch.
Right.
And, they have the par 72. They have the 4 par 5, so you have more opportunities for eagles. But we'll see. I just don't think they're going to change the golf ball.
Yeah.
I just don't. I know it's been discussed. I just don't know how you eliminate any amateur that ever has aspirations of qualifying for a Monday qualifier or doing any Q school stuff or, the U.S. Open is the U.S. Open. Anyone who's a low handicap can qualify for the U.S. Open.
And I'm not naive here. I've been a student of this game forever, and I know that there's been great scores posted forever, but we don't see it on a consistent basis the way we do here. It seems like every week in the PGA Tour we have our winner going into the 20s. There are bumps along the way, and it just feels like we're not seeing that this year. All right, we got more golf to come up here, including we'll take a look at next week and the odds, who Jeff likes from a gaming perspective, and as well, who is next to win the major. We've been on a little bit of a roll. Koepka certainly had his say in it, winning again, but guys winning majors for the first time. I want to say, what is that? Maybe 6 out of the last 8 have won a major for the first time. Anyway, we'll double-check that number, but I do want to tell you that opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Thankfully, I have 20/20, and, I visit them 3 times at least a year, sometimes more if something is bothering me. But I've known Dr. Neil Shmunez for a great number of years, and it's a family organization right there out at the beach. Now, whether it's cataract surgery, whether it's refractive surgery, how about laser eye surgery? Imagine the rest of your days never having to worry about contacts, glasses, anything along those lines. Readers, permanent 20/20 for the rest of your life. It's only part of what they do. And again, they are your one stop for everything that you could imagine with your vision. Visit Shmunez Vision today. That's shmunezvision.com, or call them at 299-2906. Care you can see. All right, we got a lot to do over the next couple of hours. Fired up for tonight's show. We got a Midsummer Classic coming up in about 45 minutes or so. As a matter of fact, Jeff and I will get into that a little bit. JJ will join us as well. This game really used to mean so much growing up. It was the one all-star game that just was head and shoulders above everything else, but it just doesn't really feel like it to me. Maybe I'm in the wrong here. We'll see. If you want to join the conversation, as always, the best way to get us is on the text line. That is 641-1010, and that is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
2 reasons people like lunchtime so much. Lunch and XL Primetime.
There you have it. Thank you.
Gather round for friends and spirited sports talk.
Can't think of a better way to lift your spirits.
Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Hey, it's Prosser here. Do you need cash to pay off credit cards and other high-interest loans? Does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound about right now? Well, Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, consolidate all your payments into one check per month, and close in 2 weeks. Most homeowners who do this end up cutting their overall monthly payments by $800. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Folks, it's finally here. The return of the Blue Crab Crab House. After a massive fire, they return, and they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 4:30 to 10, Sunday noon to 9. As always, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas, $1 oysters on Wednesday. And as expected, the best crabs that you'll find throughout Jacksonville. Same ownership, same management. The Blue Crab Crab House off of San Jose on Jillington Creek Road.
Hun, the drain really smells.
Yeah, wow, it does.
I think it's getting backed up. What should we do? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yes, I did.
Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. Need help with a plumbing issue at your home or business? Just call the Duck.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
She may be a Yankee, but the girl knows ball.
Someday she's gonna be a real big star.
Catch Mia O'Brien on XL Primetime weekdays, Helmets and Heels Tuesday nights, and on 1010XL's video and social channels. Driven by Arlington Toyota.
Hurricane season is officially underway, and now's the perfect time to make sure your home is protected from those storms by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. And right now, get 15% off your roofing project, plus flexible financing. This offer expires July 31st and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yas, Dr. Mitchell Yas, and the Yas method. Now, I know you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best-kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yas and the Yas method. Call him today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yas.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel Heilman from the brand new Fourscore Golf Tavern. We do elevated food, drinks, and golf simulator fun. If you're looking for a delicious meal or maybe a spot for a client, we have lunch specials every day. Need to entertain a few people from out of town? Easy. Just reserve one of our 4 simulator bays. Lunch service starts at 11 a.m. daily. Located in San Marcos Square, we'll see you at lunch at Fourscore Golf Tavern.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We're your local family jeweler for 46 years in Jacksonville with a huge selection of diamonds, gemstones, and pre-owned Rolex watches. And Monahan Jewelers is your store for expert jewelry repair turned around in 1 or 2 days. Most jewelry stores take 2 weeks or more, and many stores send your jewelry somewhere else for repair. At Monahan Jewelers, our jewelry repair is done in-house by expert craftsmen, and Monahans can turn around most repairs in a day or two. So bring your jewelry repair to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hydration for you ladies out there, particularly those taking the Phillips Highway stroll. It is hot. You can't drink too much water. At least I believe that's the case. We have breaking news at 8:30 right here on this Tuesday night at 1010XL 92.5 FM. Comes to us from California, where it did take place today. Leslie Van Houten has been paroled. She's been released from prison, part of the Manson family. She committed a double murder at the age of 19. This was something that shook the United States of America, perhaps unlike anything that we had ever seen at that particular time, and will live in infamy. It's really the go-to whenever you talk about all of this, falling under the spell of the now dead Charles Manson. And what always really interests me about her as a criminology grad from Florida State is everyone else was off the street. Everyone else was transient, prostitution, a drifter, whatever. Not Leslie Van Houten. She came from a wealthy family. She was educated. She was a prom queen, and she seemed to be heading in the right direction until she fell under the spell of Charlie. And she, of course, was convicted and spent more than 53 years in jail. I'm surprised that they actually did allow her to come back into the society. I just am. I thought that there were so many. And who else were we talking about? Was it who took the shot at? Was it Reagan or was it at John Lennon?
Yeah, the guy who killed, not killed, the guy who shot Reagan, and I believe his bodyguard or someone else. He shot 2 people. Yeah, he never went to prison. He was always in like an insane asylum.
Well, who's the one who came out
But
now
he's
as a
out.
musician?
Yeah, he's out now.
He's got like his own music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's him. He's always played. Let me look up his name.
Yeah, well, as soon as you say it, I'm going to certainly remember it. But she's going to go to like a halfway house and learn how to use a cell phone, use a computer.
John Hinckley.
Yeah. And
Who,
all that
by
type
the
of
way,
stuff.
let me give you a quick conspiracy story.
With Hinckley?
John Hinckley's father, they're from Texas, and his father apparently was very close with Bush Sr., who at the time was like the head of the CIA, and was having dinner at his father's house like the night before the shooting or something like that.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we kind of have an in with the Bushes, going to Kennebunkport, right? We used to see his house every summer when we go. It was nice. Kennebunk is beautiful. You never followed my footstep as far as true crime. You kind of stayed away from that. That was never really your thing.
No, definitely not.
You know, you had better things to do, and I understand it's But although I
believe John Hinckley was trying to impress a fellow actress.
Yes.
And when he was
the one who went Silence of the Lambs.
Absolutely. And she was in Taxi Driver.
Yep.
As a young prostitute. And apparently, why can I not think of her name?
I think of her name?
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Apparently, she went to Yale, right? Like,
Yeah.
And he followed her to Yale. He didn't go to Yale, but he just went there and would, like, slip notes, like, under her dorm room. Like, he found out where she was staying and got, like, the cops had to come and get a restraining order. Super weird guy, obvious, to say the least.
Well, JJ's into it a little bit. Hacker, who comes up next, is into it a great deal. I just, when I get away from sports, it's my go-to. But here's what I know. Whenever I mention it, we get a ton of feedback at 641-1010 on our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And look at all the shows that are out there. Documentaries, not only that, but series, whether they're fictional or based on a true story. It's nuts, but it's there. And again, let me give you a quick PSA, all right? Don't murder your wife or your ex-wife, okay? And that goes to wives as well. Don't murder your husband or your ex-husband. It is the first person that the investigators are going to look at. It's amazing how you can cover all your tracks, you think, whether it's forensics, which is DNA, or now even with surveillance. Very difficult to pull that off. We're watching the All-Star game. What's happened to this event? They're wearing like the same uniforms
Can
now.
someone assassinate the All-Star game, please?
No. But how?
For all leagues, though.
Yeah, I agree.
How long have they had the same uniforms on? I mean, we grew
I think
up.
this is like year 3.
Okay, because forever that was kind of a cool part of the All-Star game is wearing your hometown jersey.
And now they're all wearing just National League or American League.
Yeah, kind of down on it, but anyway, and I wasn't. Did you watch the home run derby last night?
No, it's part of my yearly tradition to never watch the home run derby. I hate it. It's for casuals, I get it, but it's batting practice and it's long as hell. Like I just looked at my phone to see if it was still going on when I went to bed. It was like midnight.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I get why casuals like it. It's guys hitting home runs, but no, these are like 3 or 4 days when I enjoy my no sports. I read a book last night.
27-6-1 is the American League as of late. So they're on a tear. No score here. We go to the top half of the second inning. Right now, pretty clean card except for the American League. 1 hit so far in this game in the first inning. Again, we'll go to the top half this second. Real quick here. Let me find this. I'm getting a bunch that's in. Let me see if I can find it. Well, that's not the one I was looking for. No, never mind. It was just talking about the rolling of the golf ball, and Jeff and I just talked about that. For those of you who don't know, my brother Jeff in studio with us tonight with JJ and the Truth Teller. It's not too late for the golf ball. Here's one. The Ballou ball gets cuts, but you can have a better Ballou ball. It benefits the target golf for sure. You can make them stronger with our technology. Just going to the difference in balls. Again, I have trouble identifying that because I can't tell the difference between golf balls. But that is a serious conversation, and they're really discussing adding that coming into the 2025 start. I want to say the PGA Tour, but who knows what it's going to be called by the time 2025 actually does come around.
I need to fact check myself on the Hinckley situation. So, yes, Bush was friends with the Hinkleys when he was CIA director, which was before he was vice president, which was before Reagan got shot.
Now I know,
but yes, he was there, friends with the family.
Because I know Bush
all
played.
I'm saying, nothing to see here. That's all.
Bush played baseball at Yale. Did Hinckley play ball at Yale? And then Jodie Foster went off to Yale, where all that stalking actually took place. We don't know the answer to that question. Jeff, who is the next first-time major winner, and will it happen next week at Royal Liverpool?
I don't think it's going to happen next week, but I think it's Victor Hovland's probably the next in line to win a major.
Mm-hmm.
Good ball striker, strong player.
Yeah.
They always, on TV, their knock on him is his short game, but they, top 10 in the world. How bad is it really?
Yeah.
So, but I think he's definitely in there as going to be a player to be reckoned with. I just don't know if it's going to happen this week. I have a feeling Cam Smith is going to be tough on his defense.
Yeah, Cam Smith, 20 under a year ago. Again, he won here at the Players, and during that whole Live controversy, he wasn't even able to come back and try to defend it. So we'll get that opportunity after winning out at St. Andrews. Who do you like? I mean, Scheffler, Rahm. You just gave us Cam Smith. Is he the one you're going to go with? Can Brooks Koepka win for the second time this year?
I think there's, definitely, a handful or more of, capable players. I don't really feel like it's going to be anyone that's outside of that top. Where I think it's these tournaments have been really. I mean, obviously Wyndham Clark at the U.S. Open kind of came out of nowhere with Rahm, McIlroy, and Scheffler as the favorites, along with Koepka. But I look at it's going to be. Just want to see if Scotty Scheffler can get his putter hot.
Yeah,
he's going to be tough to beat. There's nobody that hits the ball as well as he does. Rory drives it as good as anyone, but his putting seems to let him down tournament after tournament. Hey, I thought you and I both big Brooks Koepka guys. I'd love to see him in contention. He's got a knack for winning majors. He's got 5 in his career already, and I'm sure adding an Open Championship to his resume would be big for him. So. But it's a great tournament. I love the morning starts. It goes into the early afternoon here on the East Coast, and it's always an enjoyable tournament.
Let's see, I like it out in L.A. better. I like the late finish.
So you did. You like the twilight stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that early stuff. I'm not an early riser, but hey, we're used to this. It happens every year where one of the other two rotating U.S. Open or PGA Championship. Does not always get a West Coast event like they did this past year. We used to say Ricky Fowler. We used to say Matt Kuchar, Lee Westwood. Heck, we said Sergio Garcia forever until he finally won it. Seems like there was a lot of really big names that were trying to win it for the first time. There aren't a tremendous amount of big names right now. And there's a lot of very, very good golfers that are out there. I look at a guy like Xander Schauffele, okay, who's been up and down, perhaps more down than up, as of late. But it doesn't feel like so many players could do it, but it's not like outside of the top players that you mentioned that there really is a long list of first-time guys who have yet to win on tour.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at him, Ricky Fowler's playing some of the best golf he's played in a lot of years. He's definitely going to be a force, especially because he played well there the last time this tournament was here in 2014, just a few shots behind Rory McIlroy, who was the winner. Look at Patrick Cantlay, another guy that doesn't have a major win.
Mm-hmm.
Good, solid player right there. There's definitely some possibilities to win them. Like we said, 10 out of the last 22 years, there's been a first-time winner at the Open for their first career major win.
Glad you mentioned him because that's the other event or topic that has really dominated the PGA Tour, and that's speeding up the game. Look at baseball. I mean, they have sped up this game, and you're getting some games that and way before 3 hours now, but you're getting games that are ending in 2 hours and 20 minutes. And, as an old traditionalist, I didn't need the game for me to change. But for others to come back, they absolutely needed it. So they've made changes there. What do you feel about putting these guys on the clock earlier and not only penalizing the guy who is slowing everyone down, but whether it's a threesome or a twosome, everyone in that group ends up getting penalized if they are not above what the stopwatch says.
And that's hard to play. Honestly, I think in 2023 they should be using rangefinders. I don't think they need to step off the yardage any longer. In the PGA Championship, they use a rangefinder.
Right.
Technology is way too much these days. Let's go ahead and get an accurate number. That will speed up the pace of play.
Okay.
First and foremost.
Yep.
I know it's a strategy having your caddy walk the course and understand where the nuances is and how the angles are and knowing where the step off, middle of the green. These guys are so precise. They want to hit it to a certain shelf. I get all that. But it takes time.
Well, back to what Koepka said. I mean, he was playing in the second to last group, or maybe it was the last group with Rahm, and right in front of him was Cantlay, and he said that John Rahm went to the restroom that day 7 different times. I mean, they were waiting that long, for every green to clear or on the actual tee box or whatever it was. So
that was at the Masters this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Koepka's not afraid to voice his opinion, and he had his words for him.
We need more people like him.
Oh, we certainly do in golf.
There's no doubt, yeah. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 10 o'clock. Then it'll be Hacker Nation. No score in the All-Star game. Again, Major League Baseball will not return until Friday night. You used to have the day before, day after. That was the case yesterday. That'll be the case tomorrow, but they did it a couple of years ago. They have added a third day, so no baseball coming up on Thursday. A full slate of ball games will return on Friday. We got some football coming up in just a little bit. We got much more to do as well. If you want to join the conversation, best way to join us is on the text line, and that number is 641-1010.
Some players have talent, others have heart. But tonight, I've seen players with talent who I didn't know had any.
1010XL.
And others with heart who I thought only had talent.
Where talent meets heart.
Looking for a mouth-watering lunch that won't leave you feeling heavy? ABBQ's lunch menu features our famous prime brisket dip served on French pastry signature bread. But we also offer lighter fare, including 4 salads to choose from, our house-made chicken salad, our smoked turkey sandwich, and here's the best part. You can add any of our smokehouse meats to our signature salad, so come on down to ABBQ for lunch today and enjoy a meal that's both delicious and guilt-free.
Yum.
ABBQ, meet and drink with us.
Children under 5 die from drowning in Florida more than any other state. Together, we can reduce the risk of drowning. The YMCA has programs accessible to families that teach essential water safety skills. Face the water with confidence. Learn more at watersafetyflorida.org.
Hey, this is Jason with Bueller Air Conditioning. Why do we love to go to that awesome grocery store where shopping is a pleasure? Why do we choose that amazing chicken sandwich where the service is fast and friendly and it's always their pleasure? You see, those brands are a promise. Here at Bueller Air, our team is committed to serving the customer and delivering that same kind of brand promise. Our mission is to be the most trusted brand with friendly and professional service every single time. Give us a call today or visit BuellerAir.com.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our Summer Termite Special, featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 11th, 1914, future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth makes his MLB debut as a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, earns a 4-3 win over Cleveland.
This is Hayes Carline for QC Kinetics. It's time to take control. Don't give in to that constant joint pain. Take back your quality of life today with QC Kinetics. Call them today at 904-274-5522 to set up an appointment at their Mandarin or Ponte Vedra locations. Take control with QC Kinetics. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime, no more pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back. QC Kinetics takes your body's own healing agents and concentrates them in the area where you have pain. You can repair and restore damaged tissue naturally through regenerative medicine. The summer is here. You need to be out there having fun, making memories, golfing, walks on the beach, enjoying your life. Take control now and start living pain-free. No surgery, no downtime. QC Kinetics has locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. Call them today at 274-5522. That's 274-5522.
Your quick and easy solution for paying the lowest price on car insurance is Estrella Insurance. E to the T here, and start saving the big bucks and pay less today. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE and see for yourself. That's 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE or visit EstrellaInsurance.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Fed up with settling for mediocre pet food? Go to Paul Lick & Good, your one-stop shop for affordable, high-quality raw pet food. Their Prey Model blend mimics the way your dog's ancestors consume their meals. It strengthens the immune system and bone health and gives a shinier coat. Made from all-natural USDA-inspected human-grade meats. No fillers, no artificial additives. Check out all the 5-star Google reviews off Lane Avenue near Lenox. Call 625-8600. That's 625-8600. Or visit PaulLickandGoodRaw.com.
Brace yourself for bone-crushing tackles, lightning-fast speed, and non-stop action of the ratified credit union Jacksonville Axemen. The Axemen take on the Atlanta Rhinos at UNF tonight at 6:30. Tickets start at $10 and kids under 13 are free. Never seen rugby league before? Imagine 13 running backs against 13 linebackers in the 2-minute drill for 80 minutes without pads or helmets. It's gonna get intense. The Axemen and Rhinos tonight at 6:30. Jacksonville Axemen are proudly presented by Ratified Credit Union.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, my 50th birthday was allegedly spent at a Christopher Cross concert, but I was still 49.
Broke the bank that night.
It was 48 hours before. Did you pick up the tickets?
I did. It was sold out.
Ponte Vedra Concert Hall? What did that set you back? That'd be $50 a ticket for Chris Cross. He had a big band, though. Was it more than that?
I think it was, but God, I mean, what was that, 10 years ago?
Very funny. There you go. All right, Jeff, my brother's in, Jeff Ballou, and he will be 30, or make that 50, excuse me, coming up on July 29th, his 50th birthday. Then our dad turns 86 the very next day on July 30th. So, good stuff there. Everything's bunched up. Our sister, August 3rd, she's back home, and that's it. That's our family. We lost our mom recently, which was hard, and you saw her all the time at the end there. It was really rough, I know for you, but She's in a better place now, right? There's no doubt. No one wants to live the way that she did at
There's
the
no
very
doubt.
end. But
No doubt.
So anyway, it's still a good family, and whenever I get a chance to shoot on over to Valrico and in Tampa, I do, and that'll be the case next week during my final vacation. If you did not hear, the Jaguars did announce their 13 training camp dates that are open to you, Jaguar fans. You got to register, right? Just go to jaguars.com. But with the Miller Electric Center being built and that incredible facility there, this is going to be unlike anything you've ever experienced. Practice number 1 is Wednesday, July 26th, and the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So Wednesday through Saturday. Monday as well, July 31st. Then we'll get into August. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's 1, 2, and 3. Sunday the 6th. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 7th, 9th, and 10th. And I want to say a couple of nights later is a preseason game. Jaguars, all 3 preseason games are on a Saturday this year.
Is the practice facility inside? Like, are the fan, or is it still outside? I'm sort of confused.
There's 3 practice facilities. You have 2 outside, but it's not. Everything is inside the Miller Electric Center. 2 open face that,
So the elements?
Yeah, you have seating that'll provide shade for all of the Jaguar fans, but you have 2 outdoor 100-yard practice fields, and then almost like what is connected now, the flex field that's connected now to Daly's place, you have an indoor football stadium is what, not stadium, but football field.
Practice field.
I mean, how cool is the flex field now? We were just there. That's where Tedeschi trucks, backstage after their show here a couple of weeks ago. That's where you go. And that is an incredibly, just an incredible state-of-the-art facility. And it's like, you might as well take a bulldozer and knock it over now. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe have a flea market in there or something. I honestly don't know, because this new one that they just built with Miller Electric is just out of this world. But yeah, Jag fans, you're going to be able to experience that coming up here in the immediate future. All right, I want to share this with you. This shocked me when I read it today, and anyway, let me give you this. Aaron Hernandez, obviously played down the road here at the University of Florida. Although, if you ask them, I don't think they claim him anymore. Didn't they scrub him out of like all the record books? And haven't they just completely wiped him clean from ever doing anything at Florida? His brother is a former Connecticut football player, and he has since been rearrested after he failed to appear in court last week on charges related to, are you ready for this? Throwing a brick on the ESPN campus. So here's how the story goes. First off, he's 37 years of age. He was originally arrested in March. According to the police, he was dropped off right outside the campus of ESPN in Bristol. Remember, the Hernandez family is from Bristol, Connecticut. And he says it was probably an Uber that dropped him off, but he threw a bag containing a brick and a note over the fence onto the property of the ESPN campus before leaving. And this is what the note said, and I quote, "To all media outlets, it's about time you all realize," and he spells realize, R-E-A-L-E-Y.
Oh, no.
E-S, okay? "It's about time you all realize the effect media has on all family members. Since you're the worldwide leader, maybe you could lead how media and messages are delivered brick by brick. Clean it up. Yours truly, Dennis J. Hernandez." So he threw a brick, standing cleaning it up, brick by brick. I actually don't know how I feel about this.
It's not a terrible message.
It's not, and it would have been one thing if he threw something through a window and really vandalized and made a big deal about it. But from what I understand, he just threw it over the fence onto the campus, so it landed on in a parking space or on some grass or whatever it may have been. But was arrested on what would have obviously been a misdemeanor, but he did not appear in court, so he has been now rearrested. But anyway, interesting story. You're still a Pats fan. You've always been a Pats fan, even though you live in Tampa. Did anything ever get you outside of maybe OJ, like what Aaron Hernandez and that story? Weren't we in Rhode Island or something on a vacation?
We absolutely
when that
were.
happened?
It was right around the 4th of July, and the news came out that he had been arrested.
Wow. Yeah.
For double murder.
Yeah. And one of the
and
worst.
He had just signed that contract, I believe, that off season.
No, I think he played at least 1 year with the new money. And I want to say he caught a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl that they lost to the Giants.
That would have been 2012 summer.
Right. Just so much talent. Incredible talent, but one of the most unusual stories.
What's his brother complaint? Like, what's his complaint? Like, it's not like ESPN. First of all, no one's talking about this. This happened so long ago. But second of all, what did ESPN do that wasn't right about the way that Aaron Hernandez
I'm glad you asked
covered?
that, because it was WEEI in Boston where they brought in off the street a regular true crime reporter who was the one who had the deep throat, was the one who broke the story that Aaron Hernandez was gay. And then he ended up taking his life a day later, okay? So many people and again, what's so amazing about this is if you read Jose Baez's book, and Baez defended Hernandez. Of course, he made his name for defending Casey Anthony. Mm-hmm. If you read his book, he will tell you that there was never any question about his sexual orientation, that he had gotten him off. A lot of people forget that Baez got him off those other charges for another murder. And also shooting his friend in the face outside of a strip club who somehow lived. But if you also read James Patterson, if you also read James Patterson's book on Aaron Hernandez, it is completely, totally opposite. It would be like putting on Fox News and then putting on CNN. I mean, polar opposites. So I don't know, but ESPN never took off and crushed Aaron Hernandez. That was in Boston and other places. That was talk radio and columnists. I mean, ESPN wasn't going down that road, so that's a good point.
Maybe it's just this is the closest I can get to the media, quote unquote. I mean, he does live in Bristol.
Yeah, but I think it's a very fair point. And, I'm not one who will overdo it for ESPN, but
me neither.
I thought that they were really fair. Even those documentaries that have come out, I think they were like on Netflix and HBO and other stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember
they weren't
like
ESPN.
the mainstream media running with the homosexual angle. That was very like internet stuff, like you said, EEI. You didn't see that on ESPN.
Right. Well, that lady,
as far as I remember,
that lady came in, and she was the one who broke that story. And then, again,
remember they had one of the inmates come out and be "Oh yeah, he was my boyfriend" and all that.
Well, also was the high school quarterback when they were back in high school, and Hernandez, was a star, and the court. So yeah, there's plenty of accounts of this, and again, it comes down to whether you believe it or you don't believe it. But we're mentioning this because ESPN somehow is taking a major backslap here by his brother, but I thought ESPN was actually pretty fair. Now, then again, there could have been some things that happened that that we're just not aware of out here. 1-0 American League. We go to the top half of the third inning at the Midsummer Classic. All right, coming up next, let's turn our attention to some football. Let's get to it. Jeff is in Tampa. Can only imagine what the word is there with the Buccaneers post Tom Brady. Right here in Jacksonville, the vibe is off the chart. But let's look at some teams, some over-unders, both in college football as well as the NFL. We'll take a look at things from a gaming perspective coming up here in our second hour on Into the Night.
1010XL. Home of the Florida Gators.
Introducing an exciting update from Duck Rooter. We're thrilled to expand our services with the launch of Duck Air Conditioning. As a fully licensed mechanical contractor, our skilled team is equipped to handle any air conditioning and refrigeration project you have in mind. Contact Duck Air Conditioning today at 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769. Or visit us online at duckac.com. Duck Air Conditioning, your reliable partner in air conditioning and refrigeration services.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Yass, the most unknown world-renowned expert on pain elimination. That's right, elimination. If you've tried medications, injections, physical therapy, chiropractic, even surgery, and still experience pain, then say yes to Yass. I have successfully used the Yass method for over 30 years to help thousands reclaim their lives. To learn more, call me at 904-906-YASS. Let's end your pain and say yes to Yass.
The flagship station of the Jaguars, WJXL-FM, Jacksonville Beach.
It's back! The Big One sales event is here, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. Mia here, and Arlington has over 400 new Toyotas available. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and family vans. And that means now's the time to go big and go home in style. Plus, with every new Toyota purchase, you get Arlington's lifetime warranty and their 30-day exchange program. But don't wait. The Big One sales event won't last long, so shop today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
When you choose J-Dog Junk Removal, you're not just hiring a junk removal service.
You're investing in a company that believes in making a lasting impact on the lives of our veterans and our community. J-Dog is dedicated to giving back to our local veteran organizations. They have donated over $50,000 in materials and services, ensuring that these valuable organizations have the resources they need to support our veterans. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
Clearwater.
John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks.
Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up.
So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater irrigation and drainage too.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we'll read it tonight till 10, tomorrow night 6 to 8, Thursday and Friday as well, 6 till 8. We're going to get to some football here in about 30 seconds, but, a couple of big announcements were made. One on Friday and one as well today. UFC 295, November 11th. It'll be John Jones against Stipe Miocic, and that'll be at the Madison Square Garden. Football season, I get it, but Saturday night, November 11th. And then how about Saudi Arabia? October 28th, Francis Ngannou against Tyson Fury. And, I'm a little surprised that Ngannou's going to go in and box and not challenge someone to actually come within the cage. I want to say, wasn't Ngannou here supporting Usman?
Probably. But it's money, dude.
In his stable? Yeah, I get it.
These UFC guys make nothing. So when you're a superstar like Usman is or whatever, this is your only route, is to go lose to one of these major boxers. And I guess Saudi's the new place. All the big fights, all the heavyweight fights have been in Saudi recently. They're just stealing all our sports, dude. It sucks.
Well, they're going to be here before you know it as far as the money.
They're going to be here in Ponte Vedra.
Okay. There's no doubt about it. But if you really want to make money, get out of the UFC and join Power Slap.
Yeah, come on.
In Power Slap 3. If you missed our interview last night, it was maybe the greatest time I've ever had interviewing someone, of course, that is Jacksonville's own Austin Turp Daddy Slim Turpin, who did win at Power Slap 3 with a first round knockout. All right, my brother Jeff Ballou is joining us. He's in on some business from Tampa. I've been saying it all summer. Maybe I'm trying to warm up to Jag fans, but at one point they were minus 150 and minus 160. It's now minus 165. But, Jeff, on paper to me, this looks like easy money. That is Jacksonville at minus 165 to win the AFC South. Like or dislike?
I can't. I don't have a lot of faith in the other teams in that division. That's the biggest one there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Tennessee's had some pedigree with Vrabel through the years, but I just see the Trevor Lawrence in the situation with a good head coach is really, you saw it last year. He turned corners. He was a talented individual that just got stuck in neutral under Urban Meyer, and now he's moving in the right direction. They're going to have a much better receiver core than they did last year with Ridley. They're going to move the ball. They're going to move. They're going to play a first place schedule, Rick, and you know that's tough.
Yep.
You know that's going to add some quality opponents to their schedule, but I think they're going to be able to win 5 or 6 in that division alone, and that's going to get them out in front.
They're 4-2 in the AFC South 3 times. Okay, everything else has been 3 or less. They've never been 5-1. They've never been 6-0.
It's hard. It's hard to go 6-0.
Oh, of course it is.
It's hard to do that.
There's no doubt, but I'm with you, and I think the great thing is that finally for Trevor Lawrence, there is stability and consistency where he's going to have, outside of the loss of Jim Bob Cooter, to Indianapolis, he is going to have the same coaching staff around him, and I think that's going to make a big difference. All right, we know that when we get into gambling, it's all about the game that week, and that's where most people do spend their money. But we're seeing more with props and over-unders and season-long totals. I know it's hard on some because it's not the quick fix and the quick payday. You got to wait an entire season in order for these to come in. But is there anything that you see, whether it's NFL or college right now, that going into the year that you think is a pretty good play?
Well, piggybacking off of your Jaguars, I do like the Saints in the NFC South. You're going to have a rookie quarterback in Carolina.
Yep.
You're going to have Baker Mayfield or Trask down in Tampa.
Yep.
Atlanta, not really sure
No.
if Ritter's going to be the guy or not. I mean, he really hadn't proven anything there. I mean, their Mariota experiment's over with. So you have, okay, Derek Carr did not really end his year well in Vegas. They sent him out, but
they did send him out a few weeks early, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They sent him out. It was it was an odd situation altogether. But it's an opportunity for, great home field advantage. And I just look at the Buccaneers as a team that's really going to have some struggles this year.
It's interesting because what you have done is what I'm doing, and that is feasting off of bad teams in your division. I think the two worst divisions in the NFL are the AFC South and the NFC South.
There's no argument there at all. Absolutely. I mean, you're looking at teams that are going to be in the 3, 4, 5 win category.
Yeah.
You could see that. You could see everything falling apart for them. I mean, you got to like Carolina's idea to go out and get the number 1 pick, but it's going to be a learning curve there. It's just not going to absolutely going to run right in there and start and changing that culture there. I mean, they sent DJ Moore away as a wide receiver. The depth is different. Changing coaches, changing offensive schemes. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff takes time to mature, and I just don't see that's going to happen. Atlanta's run-heavy offense. They went running back again in the draft. It's a situation where there's some holes there, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
It's really hard to make money consistently as a gambler, and the old traditional ways were pick a team, and most in the public pick the popular team, pick the favorite. You've been a big fantasy football player forever. I've never dabbled into it once. Are you seeing now, though, as we move forward, instead of putting all the stress on picking the right team, is it a little bit more about an over-under? Or, I don't know, maybe a first half over or under? Or if you can get it, a personal player prop, whether it's a quarterback throwing for 300 yards or a running back running for 100 yards. You can probably get better lines. You can probably get it at 70, 75. Do you notice that is becoming more of an attractive way to try to win, or is it still as hard as it's ever been?
Well, I still don't think it's easy. That's why it's called gambling and not winning. But it certainly is. I mean, all these different sites. Now, the player props are big things. Over and under yards for the day.
Right.
1.5 touchdowns. Are they going to throw an interception? I think you could kind of feel what the game's going to be. I mean, what's the biggest thing a handicapper always talks about? It's hard to handicap turnovers.
Yep.
All right? Scoops and scores can ruin a lot of days.
Oh, no doubt.
You can have a 7-minute drive and throw an interception down the goal line and get run back for a touchdown, and you've done all that work and you get nothing for it. That's the hardest thing to handicap. It really comes down to, on a situation, is what do you feel these players are doing? All these projections that these men and women are doing for these fantasy football stuff they're talking about right now are just on what they're using. They're using a 3-year window, and they're hammering the numbers together on how many passes each team throws per game on an average. They're going to have completions. They're going to have attempts, targets. You're going to get scores. I mean, they're just over a 17-game season, you're going to score points. So they know that there's going to be that. They're trying to figure it out that way. There's no perfect way to do it. You can't obviously handicap injuries either.
No, you can.
And so there's no guarantee. You could lay money on somebody to rush for 100 yards and they sprain an ankle in the first quarter and they're done. So that bet's over. The same thing that if you were laying 7 points and your team's down 14-0, that bet's over. So, I mean, there's just situations where, yes, it's another angle, and it's better than just saying, because it's hard to pick games. I mean, if we did every game week 1, if you went 9-7, you'd have a good week.
Well, JJ and I did a big deal last year on where I would actually pick a game against the spread, but then bet against the game that I picked, if that makes any sense.
And you did really good.
And I made I'm going to have to go back into my old book and look at it, but I think I ended up making like over $25,000, $30,000. It was monopoly money. And I put $1,000 on every game. When I lost, I would give back $1,100, out of respect for the way it works with the VIG. But you would check, forever. You check trends and consecutive road games in the NFL. Night games to day games. Obviously, the weather, whether or not you're playing on turf. Or you're playing. You used to check all of these different things that come into play. I would think it would be easier because if you pick a receiver and have over 80 yards, even if you're trailing in a game and you get blown out, there's a good chance he goes over. Then again, you can make the case that if you're winning in a game, you're going to run in the second half. So I guess what I'm trying to do is make a point for props, and instead of putting everything on a side in a game, find the right one that sticks out and makes sense. But as you pointed out, that's why it's called gambling, because it's still hard.
It is very hard. There's no doubt about it. It's not easy, and you get a lot of information, sometimes too much information.
Well, that's it as well. Especially when the old Super Bowl props when we first saw them. Who's going to have who's going to have more today? Terrell Owens receiving. Is Terrell Owens? They would have 70 yards for Terrell Owens, or Phil Mickelson shooting a 70 that day at the Phoenix Open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go ahead and pick who ends up going over that particular mark. It was, and they would have different averages for both individuals involved. You mentioned analytics. Do you think it's going to be a point where you can just all these NFL teams are doing it? Everything, whether or not you elect to use it in game when you call a play is one thing, but everything has got analytics on what you should do down in distance and where you are on the field. Do you believe that gambling is going to be set that way as well, where what the numbers tell you to do, regardless of what your head tells you and what your stomach tells you, play the analytics?
No, yes. There are way more 4th down attempts than there ever was.
Yeah.
Way more.
Mm-hmm.
In that, so that's baked into the lines now, knowing that there's going to be opportunities for more scoring that way.
Yeah.
One way or the other, the ball's going to get turned over at midfield.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shorter field for the other team, so that's going to be in the that's definitely the way that they're working that.
Yeah, the analytics. Yeah, it's. I'm sure there's people out there. We were talking about a little bit earlier today. The guy that played the underdog and
in every one of the NCAA basketball tournament games. 3 consecutive years he's documented. He's won every year because of the ultimate upsets in that tournament. The underdog is always going to dance in that Cinderella, and that's how it's going to be.
To me, it's like sticking to a diet, though. I mean, you see a game and you're like, okay, stick to it, play the dog, but your mind's going to take over and say, well, I'm going to play the dog on each and every one again, but I'm going to make an exception here. Do you have the mindset to be able to stay to something like that, even when it looks upside down with the naked eye?
Well, yeah, that's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Being disciplined to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're called sharps, and they're not gonna double up a bet just because they feel better about it. They're gonna stick to the program, make a profit, move on to the next week, and move on to the next game.
You met Bob Kemp before, right? When you visited me in Chicago, he was on after me. He was overnights in the early morning, and I really love Bob. He was I haven't spoken to him a little bit. I believe he's retired now. He went from Chicago to Phoenix. But old school listeners here on 1010XL. Remember Bob for years on overnights, but he never played a favorite. He had so much discipline. He was like, he would only play dog, dog, dog. And if all of a sudden you brought up a game where he may have considered playing a favorite, he would say, I don't like it. And he had the so you'd have, 60 games on Saturday, and you'd have 16 on Sunday, and he was so well trained that he may only find, 4, 5, 6 total games on a Saturday and a Sunday, but the only thing that he would do was play underdogs. And I'm telling you, the man made money. It's unbelievable.
It's great discipline.
It is, but it's, that I just think that's incredibly rare. All right, we come back. Let's take a look at some over-unders. Let's do it around here locally. Jeff's a Florida State grad, as I am, so we will both be in attendance for that opener against the Bayou Bengals of LSU, who, by the way, are a 2.5-point favorite.
Line switched. If Knowles opened up 2.5-point favorite.
2.5-point favorite right now is LSU. So
I have a feeling that line will get closer to even by kickoff.
You think so?
I do. I just think a lot of buyback on the Knowles is a favorite, and now you're going to get the two-way here.
LSU really traveled to the College World Series.
Yeah.
I think they're going to find their way in. Obviously, right there in Orlando, you would think that Florida State would have way more fans, but I have a feeling LSU is going to find a way to get some of those tickets. Anyway, we'll find that out. We'll come back. We'll hit that. If you want to join us, 641-1010. That is the best way, and that is on our text line, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
I'm not here to do whatever this is. What is this?
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
What is this? Come on, man. This is entertainment.
The Drill.
You'll get it.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Folks, it's finally here. The return of the Blue Crab House. After a massive fire, they return, and they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 4:30 to 10, Sunday noon to 9. As always, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas, $1 oysters on Wednesday. And as expected, the best crabs that you'll find throughout Jacksonville. Same ownership, same management. The Blue Crab House off of San Jose on Jillington Creek Road.
All year long you'll be singing our song. Stay cooler with Bueller. At the head of our class we make it happen fast. Stay cooler with Bueller. For heating and air we always play fair. We make the difference 'cause we really care. Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Whether it's a large commercial project or a multifamily property, trust All Pro Roofing for exceptional craftsmanship and unparalleled customer service. We use only the finest materials, ensuring durability and long-lasting results. Plus, All Pro Roofing now has a full siding and windows division. That's right, All Pro Roofing is not just about roofs anymore. All Pro Roofing, now your trusted partner for commercial roofing, multifamily projects, exterior siding, and windows. AllProRoofingLLC.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
Bridging the gap between the First Coast and the swamp.
Gators.
I'm Taylor Dahl. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out and
Royal is here to help you do that with our summer termite special featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club has become an attractive destination for golfers all over North Florida. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that'll test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time today at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Registration is now open for the 1-to-1 Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. Over $400,000 in cash and prizes. The first place fish wins a Contender 25 with twin Yamahas. Tournament payouts up to 20 places large and 20 places aggregate. Of course, there's big cash prizes for lady anglers too. First place junior angler wins an Ohana skiff with motor and trailer. Register today at kingfishtournament.com.
Chronic joint pain has a snowball effect. It's not just the pain.
What that did is just make me depressed that I couldn't get back into the gym, and I was inactive, gaining weight. I had to find another alternative.
And for Chad, that alternative was QC Kinetics and the non-surgical natural biologic treatments that can give lasting relief to aching hips, shoulders, knees, and backs.
Once they explained it, it made sense. Putting what we have inside our body back into us in a certain strategic way to heal up in a natural process was fantastic.
QC Kinetics treatments take place right in the office. No downtime, no surgery. And as for the outcome,
I'm just back to bouncing around, having fun, doing my work, living pain-free.
Don't let chronic joint pain rob you of your quality of life. Discover advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call now to learn more. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
It's time to fire up the grill. Houston's Meat Specials of the Week. 10 pounds of fresh jumbo chicken wings, only $12.95. 2-pack pork spare ribs, only $1.99 a pound. And whole T-bone steaks at $5.95 a pound. Only at Houston's Meats, Main Street and 295.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, 1-1. All-star game going on. Bottom half of the fourth inning. Fans in Seattle going nuts towards Ohtani. It'll be interesting to see if he has moved before the Major League Baseball trade deadline. We had Jay Mariotti on last week, who said it would make most sense, he thought, in his opinion, for him to go 31 miles down the road and go to the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's certainly an organization that'll pay. You got to believe that both New York teams will pay as well. But anyway, we will see. Let's get back to it, taking a look at some things from a gaming point of view. My brother in visiting with us. He's on business from Tampa, along with Rick Ballou and JJ LaSalva. All right, let's look at the Knolls. You're a Florida State grad, and at least there's a little bit of a buzz. There's some hype. Coming up in about 10 days, I'll be making my way to Charlotte for the Atlantic Coast Conference football meetings, where it feels like Florida State is more than on the come. That they're a top 10 team. They could be a top 5 team in some circles. That bloodbath to open up the season is in that awful stadium in Orlando. It's Florida State. It's LSU. Let's play the over-under. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10.5. That's what I keep saying. So let's get after it against LSU. You like the Knolls there?
I do. Physical up front, good running game.
Mm-hmm.
Travis is due for, to continue on a great career that he's had at Florida State. He really, really developed after a rough 2021, I thought.
I'm actually shocked at how well he's developed.
Yeah, he really came into his own last year. Throws the ball well. That's what I think is an underrated part of his game. He throws the ball well on time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge. And then his improvising in that game against Florida was just incredible to watch. He single-handedly won that game because the FSU defense was not going to win it for him that day. He had to make those plays. They squandered a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, and here he came right back and won the game for him at the end.
These meetings are important, and you learn a lot. And I'll tell you, 2 years ago, they brought him in along with Mackenzie Milton, okay, and a couple of defensive players. And I'm talking to him about being a running quarterback, and I'm like, well, what about throwing the football? And he played his high school ball for former Gator quarterback Eric Kresser. He's like, I've always thrown the ball. I didn't run in high school. All I did was throw it. I threw it at Louisville. He goes, I've only run the ball since I've been at Florida State. And I literally re-asked, I'm like, come again? Because Florida State fans only know you as a running quarterback. But he's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm a passing quarterback. And obviously they didn't use him correctly early on.
That had a lot to do with the pandemic and everything with Norvell coming in and not having the time to work him into the system and everything. But speaking of Travis, would you consider him an NFL prospect?
Yeah, a prospect, yeah.
Like a late round draft pick or a free agent signing?
No, I think he mid rounds. Here's my problem. He reminds me of like an RG3 or something like that. A guy that half his game is going to be based on him tucking and running. And we've seen outside of, last year, he got hurt in the bowl game, but he toughed it out. He got hurt against Louisville, and Rodemaker came in.
Yeah, he gets dinged. But he's bigger. He's bigger than he has.
And he put on noticeable weight last year.
He's bigger. I really like. I look at him as their. He's obviously the biggest player in their roster.
Yeah.
Right now, I think they have depth at all the right spots. I love what they have at wide receiver. I think it's going to be hard to really line up one-on-one with those guys. So you're going to have help over the top, which is going to open up the running game. And they're going to be in a battle against LSU. We talked about this game over and over again. It's going to be the unexpected is going to happen. It's going to be a great time, a great game. Let's. As a Florida State alum, I know nothing more to walk out of there and win that game, but, a loss wouldn't ruin the season.
Yeah.
And that's what all Florida State fans have to understand, that the season doesn't end on September 3rd if the game is lost. That's the hard part. And it will be crashing down on, the world's coming to an end. You will get ripped for saying something about the Knowles and this and that or whoever they do. It's going to be...
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
It will be...
Never.
Whether it's a Fitzgerald missed PAT or a field goal in crucial time, it's going to be something that it'll be blamed on somebody else, when in essence it's just another good football team that's got national championship aspirations as well. It's a good ball game.
Whenever Florida State loses a football game, I lose about 400 to 500 followers on Twitter. But by the time they play in 60 some odd days, we may not even have Twitter anymore. So, who cares about that? Here's my problem, okay? Take the stake, wooden it all, and drive it through the heart. You're up 14 points in New Orleans, man. You have that game won. You fumble on the one. You allow them to go 99 yards at 11 plays, and you block a PAT. They were such a better team than Florida. If Jordan Travis doesn't have one of the greatest individual games that any Seminole has ever had, they lose that game. They fooled around with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, much better. We saw what they did with Wake Forest. They allowed Sam Hartman to look like John Elway. Wake Forest coming in the talent. So that's where I am, Jeff. And I know it's negative to a lot of people, but that's where I am. They've got to win games that they are supposed to win. If LSU beats them and Clemson beats them, okay, but you should win the other games.
And that's exactly what you look at the schedule and you say, okay, that's 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
But that's some tough games. I mean, I don't ever want to discount a Miami ball club. Okay? I don't care that it was 45-14 last year or whatever it was, or 45-3. It's just not. It's still Miami. I mean, you're going to Gainesville. That's not a guarantee.
Right.
It's never a guarantee. You know the trip to Pittsburgh is going to be tough.
There's no question it's going to be tough.
Those are games that are going to be tough. I mean, Virginia Tech's had Florida State's number for a while now.
Absolutely.
I mean, Syracuse was better last year. They were injured by the time the Noles got there. It's not going to be. These games are all going to be very good. They haven't shown us, but if they continue to run the ball downhill and play good defense, they're going to win. They're going to win these games. That's where it is. They haven't been strong enough up front. And I think that they have the depth this year to get that done. That's what they were talking about out of spring practice, was that they have the right players up front. They have the depth. The competition is great. These guys want to play, so they're battling in practice. You know, they're not just given the starting job and they're going out there and trying to win games. They're battling to play. And that's where, when we were at school, that's what it was like. Your number ones and twos were battling for playing time.
Right. Yeah, you got to get better players.
Competition. You got to get better players.
They have to, and it feels like, you know, especially a couple of weeks ago, some recruits. I mean, Norvell is starting to bring in better people. He's done very well in the transfer portal. There's no doubt about that. But it's time now to bring in your own players and hopefully watch them develop. All right, 10 wins. To me, that's a push. To me, I don't play it, or if I did play it, I think there's a real good chance it falls on 10-2. So let's switch it up a little bit. What if it's 10.5? Which way are you going? Over or under, or are you leaving it alone? And don't say leave it alone.
No. If I had to go over, I would go over 10.5, because I think they've got to get one of those LSU Clemson games and hold serve against those lesser teams. They're going to be favored in every other game except for those two ball games.
Okay.
They'll be an underdog at Clemson.
No doubt. No doubt. It's not going to be much. As a matter of fact, I did see that the latest projection, they're actually a pick-em right now at Clemson. You know, that can obviously change by September 23rd.
That's very surprising.
Yeah. Here's what I mean by it. I actually think they have a better chance of knocking off Clemson or LSU. So the thinking would be they're 11-1. But I think they're going to stub their toe one other game. Florida on the road. Pittsburgh on the road. What is it about Wake Forest that has just been so haunting for this team? And that's why I would rather lose to LSU and Clemson and say, all right, well, they're the top of the top. You're not there yet, as opposed to beating LSU and losing to Clemson and then losing at Wake Forest. Does that make any sense? You understand what I'm trying to say to you?
You're softening the blow is what you're doing.
No, because it's more aggravating for me when they lose to those schools.
I feel like you're saying the stubbing of the toe would be more frustrating than losing in a good battle-tested game.
Yeah. Losing to an inferior opponent is what gets me.
And for the most part, last year they did not. Yes, Wake Forest and Clemson came into Tallahassee, but Wake Forest had just played Clemson to about 3 or 4 overtime game the week before.
Yeah.
You know, they were obviously a very good football team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had some injuries towards the end of the year, which, you know, took their season off. But, yeah, they were a good football team last year, but FSU did not play well against them in that game.
All right, before we take this break, let me share this with you, because JJ and I were on it a couple of weeks ago, and it was staggering to me, because what you never hear is that someone has an easy schedule in the SEC. You just don't hear that, okay? Let's bring in the 2-time defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Now, they did have their game with Oklahoma canceled because, they're joining the conference.
Right?
Although the Texas-Alabama game is still going to be played this year, non-conference, which I thought was interesting. Real quick, Georgia's schedule. UT Martin, Ball State, South Carolina, and UAB, 4 in a row at home. That's how they open up the season. Oldest rivalry in the South. You go to Auburn. Home with Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, here in Jacksonville against Florida, Missouri and Mississippi at home, then at Tennessee, and at Georgia Tech. What do you think?
Over under?
Yeah.
12.
Exactly. That's what JJ and I said a week ago, or a couple weeks. That looks like 12-0 without blinking an eye. I want to respect Tennessee. I want to, but they need to give. Here we are talking about consistency with Florida State. Tennessee had lost, what was it? Was it
20 of 21?
It was even higher than that to Alabama and Florida, respectively, and they got the big wins last year.
There's no way that Vegas is setting a line at 11.5 unless they're juicing it minus 200.
Yeah, maybe they'll do that. Maybe they will. But I'm not even talking about the preseason line. I'm just talking about when you look at the Florida State schedule, you think 10-2, right? Maybe 11-1. When I look at the Georgia schedule, I'm saying 12-0. Okay? Just compare that to. All right, now let's look at Alabama. I know we have to take a break here. Look at Alabama real quick. And here's Bama: Middle Tennessee, Texas, at South Florida, Mississippi, at Mississippi State, at A&M, home with Arkansas, Tennessee, and LSU, at Kentucky, at Chattanooga, at Auburn. Yeah.
The SEC West is so much tougher.
Yep.
Are they getting away from the West and East next season, or they are? So that seems to be a trend in every conference now.
It's going to happen, especially when you have the 16 teams. Yeah, and it's going to, they're going to have the crossover, and
you're going to have your rivals that you're still going to play every year.
I'm one of the few who actually likes the divisions, but it's getting taken away, and it's going to be that way in all of the Power 5 conferences. And I think, honestly, where we're headed is really Power 3 conferences. I mean, the Big 12 and Pac-12 are right now circling the Dan. I see Dan Lanning's names all over the place about him going to Northwestern. Once again, a coach, that would be what? Taggart, Cristobal, and Lanning using Oregon as a stepping stone for another job. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. We'll see. Hey, got to take our final break of the night. Hackers coming up at 10 o'clock.
Sweltering weather, the dog days of summer at the office, and no Jaguars on-field action for 6 whole weeks. So let us help you beat the summer heat with The Scoop. New episodes every Wednesday all summer long on the 1010XL social channels and wherever you get your podcasts.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
If you've dreamt about a career in radio but don't know where to start, we've got great news for you. 1010XL has partnered with the Broadcasters and Sportscasters Mentoring Group to offer mentorship opportunities with one of our radio pros right here at 1010XL. Visit getintobroadcasting.com to grab your free report and learn about the training and tuition costs. Go to getintobroadcasting.com to grab your free report now.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, City Rescue Mission is here to help. Learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caale.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Want great drinks at a great location without paying outrageous prices? Players Grill has you covered. Monday through Friday, happy hour from 3 to 5 p.m. $15 bottomless mimosas on the weekend. Players Grill Miramar, where the neighborhood meets.
We know you're busy. If you miss an interview with your favorite coach or player at All Weather Contractors SEC Media Days presented by South State Bank, catch it on demand at 1010XL.com. Brought to you by Instant Keys and Baptist Bariatrics.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yas, Dr. Mitchell Yas, and the Yas method. Now I know, you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yas and the Yas method. Call him today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yas.
It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and buy a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla for just $1,000 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $1,000 down and $388 per month. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock and more than 100 vehicles under $18K. You even get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Shop the Big One sales event, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and arlingtontoyota.com.
Denny Thompson here. Are you a home builder looking for a reliable low-voltage partner? Look no further than Tyson Sound and Security. They've been working hard with large and small builders for 15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound and Security, security and home automation experts.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Thursday and Friday, 6 till 8. Then I'll take a week off, and then, bam, it is here. The start of football. Begin in Charlotte for the ACC meetings a week from Monday. And, of course, training camp with the Jaguars to follow.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Hacker Nation time beginning right now here on the home of the Jaguars. How you doing, young man?
Rick, I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, and everything's great. My brother's in town for some business, so had him sit in tonight. We might have snuck in a little golf earlier, but
nice.
It was a work day for both of us.
Oh, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How you doing? What's going on?
Good. Busy day, busy time. Media days for the Southeastern Conference next week. The Jaguars, I guess the first batch of players report on Friday next week, the rookies and first-year players, and they're on the field on the 26th. So, yeah, we are literally on the doorstep of what will be about a 6-month marathon that I can't wait for.
Have you really looked at Georgia's schedule yet?
Oh, they're going to be 20-point favorites. I think we talked about this about a week or so ago. I bet they're 20-point favorites in 9 of their games.
I can't ever remember saying that's an easy schedule in the SEC. You compare it to Alabama. I mean, Alabama's got a really difficult. And I know Oklahoma and that Georgia-Oklahoma thing in it.
Right, Oklahoma came off.
Right. So, but, I mean, maybe you can make a case for Florida here. Maybe you can make a case at Auburn. I don't know. But that looks like one of the easiest 12-0s I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Tennessee could be a little dicey depending on how Tennessee's playing at that point. Auburn's a rivalry game, but come on, Auburn's got a first-year head coach there in Hugh Freeze. And then Florida, I would doubt Florida has anything for him either. So, yeah, I think Georgia, anything less than 11-1 would be not just a disappointment, would be a failure. Although, if you want to do the other side of it, they kind of make up for it in 2024 with road games at Texas and at Alabama.
And Georgia fans will take that in a heartbeat. I mean, no one's going to apologize if they're playing for a third straight national champion.
No, not at all. And they should see Alabama or LSU in the SEC championship game. I know a lot of people like what's going on in Baton Rouge heading into the year.
Yeah, we'll find that out. Their entire offensive line returns at LSU this year as well. All right, what's coming up?
Yeah, speaking of college football, I got a couple of recent commitments. Florida got a 4-star, one of the best offensive tackles in the country from the state of Virginia yesterday, Fletcher Westphal. He's going to join us coming up in about 10 minutes. And over at Mandarin High School, I got to tell you, Rick, I've covered high school football in this area for a long time. Mandarin, Derek Plaz, offensive lineman, just committed to Miami. He's going to join us tonight. Their quarterback is a junior. He's committed to Florida State, Tramel Jones. They got 2 defensive backs, both committed to Penn State. And they also have Jamie French, who's committing next week. And he's an Ohio State, Florida State, Penn State guy. He's deciding between a ton of talent at Mandarin High School. Derek Plaz committed to Miami. He joins us tonight as well.
Man, that is unbelievable. The quarterback you talked about, I actually played golf with a couple of doctors from JOI at the Valley course, TPC Valley, on Saturday morning. Lance Snyder handles everything for Mandarin. He was talking about these prospects. Apparently, they are loaded this year at Mandarin, so we're going to get some great high school football coming up, and that'll be here as well before you know it. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
Jeff, thanks for sitting in. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, likewise. It's always great to be here and spend a couple hours with you on the radio.
There you go. That's my brother in town on business, and we appreciate him being with us tonight. Thank you to our producer, J.J. LaSalva. Coming up tomorrow night, Thursday night and Friday night, we're back at our regularly scheduled time. That'll be 6 to 8, right here on your home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's not a pirate ship station.
You must be a pirate for the Pirates Code to apply, and you're not.
It's a flagship station of the Jaguars. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We've been telling you for almost a year about Nathan's Family Chiropractic and the 100-Year Lifestyle Network. If chronic back or joint pain is keeping you down, don't listen to me. Listen to what Jacksonville is saying about Dr. Alan Nathans.
The stem cell treatment took the pain away.
Changed my life. It's awesome.
Your body just works better when it's aligned. We're believers.
His no-needle regenerative protocols are giving people their lives back. Get yours back, too. Go to the pro in the know. Don't do another cortisone injection. He's one of us, helping all of us for the past 25 years. For more info, drnathans.com.
Whether you are looking for a job or an employer trying to hire, there's only one stop in Jacksonville, Remedy Staffing. Labor trends keep us guessing. As employers, the job market's been strong. So what does that mean for workers' availability? If you're interested in the workforce solutions or how the Remedy team can help you, call or text Crystal at 904-329-9802. 329-9802, Remedy Staffing.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here, and I want to know, are your drafty windows letting all that cool air right back outside? Will they protect your home from Florida's unpredictable weather? If not, then it's time for the peace of mind that comes only with Pella Windows and Doors. fiberglass and vinyl products in various styles and designs to best complement your home. So visit the Pella of Jacksonville showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla, or find them at PellaJacks.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors at PellaJacks.com.
For the past 5 years in Jacksonville, J-Dog Junk Removal has been on a mission to put veterans back to work. They have successfully helped over 40 veterans find meaningful employment, and they're not stopping there. Their goal is to reach an astounding 75 veterans employed by the year 2025, all in our local community. J-Dog Junk Removal, veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
Oh boy, not again.
Do you feel this way every time there's rain in the forecast? Amy Salt, owner of CrossFit Salt to Tear in the Riverside area, definitely did.
I had major rain anxiety from all the water collecting outside my gym. That's why I'm so happy I reached out to Clearwater Drainage. John came out, designed a system that moved the water off of my property, and all my kettlebells are now dry. I'm sleeping so much better at night.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball has cooler promotions, but some people call them ice chests. Either way, check out the items you can put your company logo on at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL FM, Jacksonville Beach.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your round of golf with us. Our warm and welcoming atmosphere and spectacular golf course keeps our customers coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Brace yourself for bone-crushing tackles, lightning-fast speed, and non-stop action of the